Alright guys, sorry about all the delays tonight. We will actually be going ahead with one game. Apologise it's not a best of three, but we do have Zerton in the house up against Crimson Kentab, so thank you to Crimson for signing up as he usually does, and for Zerton for stepping in on this one. Just waiting for it to load. Alright, so we are teeing off on Sheltered Pass today. And it looks as though we've got Zerton on his Persian, Crimson Kentab on his Celt, so I'll take it away, guys. Make sure to tell your friends, get them to tune in, get your friends, get your family, get your neighbours, because we're about to witness Zerton playing in a show match. So thank you for coming along, big fella, and thank you, Crimson, for your usual attendance. Oh, that's a very Very good cancel there. Crimson cancelling at the last second, saving that deer. If he had have started that storehouse, he would have actually destroyed the deer. So that would have been terrible for him. Sorry about that, I was just checking something in the stream. But yeah, we are all a go. So Crimson taking his barracks. Zerton spawning as this Persian player in the orange trunks. Down over here, so he's going for a storehouse. Finding another hunt. Looks as though he's going to go for a barracks himself, because he's up to 200 wood. Barracks from Crimson. Gonna be a lot faster. In fact, Certain just banking up wood for the time being. I'm not too sure what the game plan is here. Oh no, here we go. Here's the barracks. So, a bit lax on the barracks. Just taking it easy. Spearman coming out for Crimson. So it's actually going to be out quite a fair bit quicker than Zerton's even going to start production out of his barracks. And yeah, it's going to mean that Crimson's going to get the opportunity, if he does rally straight across, which he is doing, going to get the opportunity to really deny a little bit of food gathering here from Zerton. Not a huge amount. He is going to have his own Spirobara, and this isn't too far outside of TC fire. I just saw him actually set up his rally there. So Crimson. Zerton getting a scout of Crimson's base, sorry. Crimson doing the same of Zerton. Like I said, the spears are already here for Crimson. As long as he avoids the TC fire and rallies straight onto this storehouse. Oh, the Spara, just in time. Perfect timing here from Zerton. Unbelievable. How does this kid do it? He is a god. Crimson trying to micro a hit, but just copping one. But he does actually manage to force Zerton to have to micro out the spear. I mean, micro out the villager, which he does do perfectly. So the spear comes back to help kill the Spara. So Zerton down a Spara. Nice micro there from Crimson, but a little bit too much there, and he is going to lose this spear. It's pretty much even at the moment. Yeah, Crimson's going to drop another spear. Zerton's aid tent has kicked in, so he's going to top up all his villagers. He's dropped a Spara, killed 2 spearmen, so he's come out slightly ahead here, I believe. Crimson's actually got 2 less villagers. He must have actually stopped villager production for a second there. Maybe he got housed. It seems as though he's actually got a nice little trade here over Zerton, because he's going to pick off a Spara. This Spara desperately trying to make it out, but he is snare locked, so he is pretty slow. But Zerton is probably going to be able to save him, I think. He's going to try and go for the low spear, but Crimson's bait, really smart there. So it's a really nice micro there from Crimson getting tapped. And now he's forcing Zerton back off the deer onto the slightly slower sheep. There is no hunting dogs for Zerton, so he's going to chew through these hunts relatively fast. Crimson, on the other hand, does have his hunting dogs. So early on, he seems to be applying the pressure really, really nicely. But Zerton found out about this. He's chasing that spear. He's seen the rest of them. So brilliant scouting by the reigning Bonjour of the game, with his 8 tournament finals and 4 wins. I think he's at now, which is pretty rock solid. That's a bit of an honour really to get to be able to cast a game of his in just a show match. Just a show match. I mean, Sean, how can you say that? They're your pride and joy, but man, this is Zerton we're talking about. Crimson doing a bit of a unbiased scout here, but he's a bit too late. Down here, there is the goodies. Crimson's going to hit from another angle, so perhaps this is good in a sense. He's going to take this out. Zerton's going to drop that down, and this is going to mean that he's going to have to get a watchtower or some units or buildings over here or something to give him vision later on. There's plenty of spears here to force this back. Zertan's H2 a little bit quicker than Crimson's, and his TC definitely going to be more so because it's already going down. Which counts at 20 to 17, so Crimson's slightly behind on the bill count at the moment. I think there's just slight gaps there, either when he's getting housed or he's just letting villagers finish up before he produces the next one. Whereas Zertan is going to have almost perfect production. That'll be the first mistake he would have made in terms of that, because yeah, I mean, he is up by 3 villagers at the moment, despite being on the back foot this whole game, with Crimson applying some really nice pressure with his spearman, denying a lot of hunt, gather time. He's possibly going to get this storehouse here. He is going to force Zertan to have to pull these villagers out again. It looks as though Crimson is going to get cleaned up really quickly here. Going to lose a spearman there. Be 2 or 3. Oh no. Crimson does manage to make it out there. Zertan's going to focus down the low one. Just let it get out. So a lot of low spears here for Crimson. He's even in pop, but he has taken a lot of damage with his forces. Zertan's actually sitting his fire just under there just to top up any damage they've possibly taken, so they're all full health. And Zertan's pinched a couple of sheep here. Just scouting out his opponent's base. He's adding a couple of ranges here. Really nice. It's going to force Crimson to have to switch to slingers really quick, really hard behind this himself. He's going to have to throw up double range, but he's committing to the Grove first. He's got his second town centre, so it's a little bit later than Zertan's, but it's good that he's got it regardless. No eco-techs yet. Well, Crimson full of the eco-techs. He's pinching those sheep off Zertan at the moment. So Zertan once again scouting his opponent. He's just making sure Crimson hasn't got those ranges, because if these slingers are late and this double range production really ramps up, which it has, it's already 9 bowmen. Zertan's just going to push in about a minute or a minute and a half, and if not, might not even wait that long, and he's just going to be able to floor Crimson, because they're just, even if he throws up the ranges as the scout's leaving now, there simply won't be enough slingers to really be able to respond. And he's getting just enough spire to really offer a front line in the wake of the long swordsman, and then those bowmen are going to rain hell down on this composition. There's no real backline of a sort here for the Celt player at the moment, so Crimson is really taking a bit of a risk here. How much does he actually know about what's going on in Zertan's base? So he's seen one of the ranges go down, and he's probably he hasn't seen the other, so he's probably thinking, oh, okay, so the Persian's going to open up with one range and, you know, start on the stables, but Zertan's actually got 2 ranges before the stables here, so throwing down the range and another barracks now simply won't be enough of a backline on the Celt side to really be able to pose much of a threat to these bowmen. Although, in saying that, there is a good number of spears and long swordsmen there. Oh, there is only the 1 range. I'm a bit worried about that. I really think Crimson needs to go straight up to possibly even 3 ranges, considering he's delaying the second one so long. Like, there's already 15 bowmen there. He really needs to probably get some form of scout here of Zertan's base, because he doesn't really know about what's going on here. There's 2 production facilities that are completely unidentified for Crimson. Zertan just seems to be spending a little bit better as well. Crimson blowing out to a 1300 gold bank. Zertan with basically nothing in his bank at this point in time. He's ahead on population. He's had to defend in the early game, but like I said, he was a little bit smoother with his villager production. Got a small lead out of that. He's just massing up the units, skipping all his eco-techs for now, adding another stables, and just getting a couple of scout Asabara now as well. So his scout's fully healed too. These Asabara are going to be wasted And that's a really cool death animation, I like that. But like I said, these slingers, it's a small number of them, considering what's in Zertan's comp for the time being. So really, he only needs a small number of Asabara just to threaten the small number of slingers. These bowmen are going to be a huge threat to Crimson's army right now. And he is even on score, but I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that he's got so much in the bank, and that's already a big hit there. Handful of long swordsmen going down there for Crimson. He is getting really good vision at Zertan's base, so I do like this. He's got reasonable map control this game. He's really sort of forced Zertan into a corner, but at the same time, right now, I think he's really behind in terms of composition. He's getting his age 3 though, so he is going to really have the resources to get the Woad Raiders out, and that's going to be a big threat to the bowmen. But well, Zertan is probably just waiting to max out and push in age 2 and try his luck then, because unless the Celt has a lot of production and has been gathering and spending just as perfectly or better than you have, you know, it can get really rough. Zertan queuing up 4 eco upgrades at the same time now, so he's gone from 0 to 100 really quick. He's getting his plow, his handsaw, his picker's gloves, and his pickaxe. He doesn't even have the hands to hold all of these tools, but he's getting them anyway. And he's getting a good read of the army too, because Crimson bringing everything back, and that's going to prove to be a real pressure relief here. For certain, he's going to be free to really push out himself. It's probably going to mean that he's not going to want to raid. He doesn't even have a lot of Asabara in the comp here. It's very Bowman Spara centric here. But I think he was probably anticipating a push from Crimson before now, who I think had realised he really didn't have the slingers to be able to mess with this Persian army. He's sort of setting himself up to throw away some of this and back it up with Woad, so he's going to top himself out with Woad Raiders and maybe a couple of bowmen if he can fit them in. But ooh, Zertan sending in a couple of Asabara, just saying hello. Just going to check things out, just check your temperature. So he's going to head in with those, taking a really nice fight. Like I said, there's just so many bowmen. He's going to blot out the sun with arrows. Crimson has to fight in the shade, and he's not Spartan at the moment. He's not Greek, he's Celt. So it's not exactly working for him. And these Asabara are getting a lot of value. But one of them does fall. But Crimson now having to fight in the shade again, because that's a lot of bowmen on his doorstep. Although, in saying that, Zertan bringing these guys up so close to Crimson's base, a few of them are going to go down to the Woad Raiders. Crimson having to face against Zertan's much bigger army now, because he's all the way down to under 80 pop, and Zertan's age 3 is kicked in now too, so Zertan just about max still, continuing to push. A lot of long swordsmen and a few slingers, not really proving to be enough against a huge amount of bowmen and Spara. A small number of Asabara. GG, Crimson taps out. And thank you both for playing that game. And apologies guys, but I'm not really gonna stick around and try and get more fill games, but I'll see you tomorrow. We do have a best of 3 plan then. Apologies, I'm not really putting a bit more effort in tonight, but I'm pretty wrecked. I think I got the scores there backwards in game. Not that it matters. Oh. Anyway, guys, yeah, I think that'll be it. Thanks for watching. Oh, actually, bear with me a sec. We might have another game planned. We'll see. Yeah, guys, so we are going to do best of 3. Sorry to actually best of 2. Best of 2. What is best of 2? Tell me what best of 2 is. We'll be back in just a moment, folks. The game number 2. So, we are teeing off in game number 2. Zerton versus Crimson Cantab on. We have Sheltered Pass. Again. So, spawning on the top side of the map this time, as Celt W, we have Zerton. And spawning on the bottom side of the map. This time the players switching roles, switching places, switching sides of the map. This time Crimson Cantab on his Greeks in the green chunks. So we saw Persia versus Celt last game. This time we're seeing Celt versus Greek. And Zerton going with the fast barracks. Crimson going with a even faster barracks. But this time Zerton, he's not mucking around. He's thrown it up really quickly. He's not leaving it to the last second to get that Spire Hut just as Crimson is coming in. I don't know how the hell he timed that, but he somehow did. And thank you for the sub, Godello. You absolute champion, you absolute legend, you absolute Spartan. Thank you for the sub. So the barracks finishing up here for Crimson. The barracks finishing up here for Zerton too. He's actually rallied onto his TC, how cute. Crimson hasn't even rallied. SMH, man. There we go. He's rallying the spear forward. He hasn't actually rallied off the barracks yet, though, I don't think. Nah, I shouldn't pick on him. His win rate against me still favours him because I lost a shitload of games when I was very bad against him. I still am very bad, but less bad. Anyway. Spears just starting to move out here for Zerton. Spears sitting idly on defense here for Crimson. But this is going to be a bit of a weird attack path here for Zerton. Crimson's going to get his woodline tucked away in here. So, even though it is a little bit outside the TC, both of these, just the fact that the attack angles on offer to Zerton here are a little bit funky. Crimson can actually, just basically sit his spears here and force Zerton to take the long way round. And then chase him across as well. So, this is actually quite crafty. Good use of the map here from Crimson to keep the woodline there rather than throwing it down here in a sense. He just doesn't need to split his spears up. He can basically run them back and forth to defend. Whereas, if he had the woodline here, Zerton would have an easier time in a sense because he could just run down here and then Crimson's actually got to take a longer running distance to actually chase as a defender. This way, it keeps him shorter. He can actually just sit a spear here, sit the rest in the middle and just run them all to whichever side is needed for now. Defending this really well against Zerton's initial push, so he probably does have a nicer map spawn to do this than Zerton had the opportunity to do last game. But he's definitely using it to its full advantage. I do like this as well because then the spears can sort of get caught in here, tank a couple of shots extra. Really nice starting base layout here from Crimson. Zones as well is also superb as always. Actually, what the hell? What the hell? I don't understand. Did he press the wrong button or something? Wrong hotkey? Wrong hotkey question mark? Like, I mean, houses and storehouses cost the exact same amount, so I don't understand why he would ever throw down a storehouse to defend with. It has to be a mistake. Houses have even got more health for the same cost, so that... What am I witnessing? How rusty is he? And he's still unbeatable. This is mental. Defensive town centre going up here for certain. And he is still maintaining the map control. He's forcing Crimson to sit in his base with the spears for now. But like I said, perfect defensive setup at the start. Zerton hasn't really found an opportunity to go in yet. He's having to rely on the long swordsman coming out. Crimson's going to have Hypaspis out himself, so he's going to want to follow up. Yeah, maybe with druids. But also, he's going to see a range going up here, so he might even opt to try and snipe this. Where's his scout? It's just moving back now. No, it looks like the range is safe and sound. So Zerton not going to see that until it's already finished. Crimson. Marvellous opening. He's playing the counter position of last game very well, in a sense, because the Greek is basically going to play this similarly in defense to the Persian. Not exactly identical. Obviously, you got Spearman instead of Sparabara, which fulfill a different role in Age 2, and you can't take aid tent. I mean, you can't take aid tent. So, but beyond that, the Celt player is going to try and approach it pretty much the same way. So barracks and spears and long swordsmen out in the field for him. But we don't have another production facility out just yet for certain. Actually choosing to go for pickaxe before a second production facility this game. So he's a little bit quicker on the ecotech than he was last. Crimson on the other hand hasn't got pickaxe, has handsaw, has hunting dogs. No hunting dogs, yes handsaw, yes pickaxe. for Zerton. And he's going to spot this, moving out. So this is going to mean he can move in with these guys. So we're just going to get a couple of villagers here, or a villager at least, and delay a bit of gathering time. Force Crimson to have to stroll back home, because there simply isn't the critical mass of Toxotes here by themselves to really clean this up. But Zerton ultimately going to have to back off now. He's done the damage he needed to do in a sense. He's got Crimson on 25 workers, he's on 33 himself, so he's got a slight lead over his opponent now. Second range, and the stable's going up. Now, Zerton doesn't know about any of this. He can potentially make the same mistake as Crimson in the sense where he can get caught with the an imperfect response to the composition his opponent's got. But, in saying that, he seems to be in a better eco position than Crimson was when the roles were reversed just before. So, maybe just had to factor in. And there is a stables already coming out now, and Bowman on the way. Only a single barrack, so very, very quick age 3 transition game here from Zerton. So he's really starting to differ from the way Crimson played the last game. Third town centre already going out. There's a triangle here. It's going to be just about impossible for Crimson to push into Zerton in late age 2 or early age 3. And because Crimson has that slight economic disadvantage at the moment, I think Zerton might actually be able to be free to push into him in age 3 without having to play defensively for a state. So this town centre is going to go up. It's 32 to 41 vills, so Crimson getting TC tax. Well, he's getting ointment. He hasn't got any of his others. No TC tax for Zerton, but he has had to take H3, but he is finishing off the third town centre now. Sari's out in the field, but there's already horsemen out in the field as well. So the bowmen and the slingers are going to be well protected. There's more long swordsmen coming out. There's not any woads in queue just yet, so I think the mix of bowman, slinger, horseman is probably enough to fulfill the role of the woad if you can kill all the Saris quickly enough. And that's probably what Zerton's going for now, and then he can introduce woads later if he really needs to, once the Greek gets to the state where he's got several ranges, not just 1 or 2, when he's got 3 or 4 or 5. But for now, Zerton doesn't really need to worry about playing around the woads too heavily. He's going to continue to get the long swordsman. Good front line. If he can get Champ out, that'd be really nice, because having armor of both types is just really nice to have, and especially once you start getting your armory upgrades, things start hitting for very little damage. And this little raid attempt here from Crimson cut off very quickly here from Zerton, so he's got perfect response value out of that. He's killed both Saris, lost nothing. Just absolutely perfect for him, but Crimson, it's going to be an uphill battle for him. He's still stuck in age 2 as the Greek at the moment. Celt probably should be the one to age up faster, because Celt generally do like to push their tech ability. They've got a really quick tech path. They got cheaper aging up, but they do need to have up houses. They're the only civ that requires having houses to reach ages. They need, I think is it 3, 8, and 10? No, 3, 5, and 10? I'm not too sure, I can't remember exactly, but yeah, you need houses to be able to age up on Celt, whereas the other civs you don't. It's also cheaper on Celt, and they've got a really nice economy tech tree. So Greeks in the meanwhile a little bit slow, a little bit more rigid in terms of their economic pace. But they do have some really, really great technologies, really nice units. This is one of the Celt-specific economy techs here now. So Zerton getting this gold mine, not only does it give you a nice amount of conservation, you also and a slightly quicker gathering rate than what, say, I think age 3, possibly age 4 offers. I can't remember exactly how quickly that is. You also have this nice 2,000 health bunker that your gold miners are trapped in, so it does mean you're not going to lose the villagers instantly if you do get raided. Crimson doing what he can to maintain map control. Certain does have a watch post here though, so he's going to be able to get a good look out of any army movement through there. Crimson's going to see this though, so he's going to be able to take the opportunity to jump on this. Certain's going to move down towards it though, so he hasn't got long. The Saris are coming in. They are rallied in with some other units, so they are going to take a while to actually clear this out. But Certain's actually not coming the whole way down. He is basically maxed out though, so his macro eco, I mean, his macro, his eco, just really going to get the better of Crimson from here, I think, because he's going to catch out this little ball of units as well, and that's really going to open up the population gap to about 55, which is really quite drastic. Crimson's not really going to be able to take and engage now, and he's going to have to back off. He's going to lose the watch post as well. But he is going to pick off this horseman that was coming in to try and pick off his watch post over here, but things aren't looking too good. He's bottomed out on food again. 65 villages to Zertan's 85, so he does have a good vill count, but at the same time, Zertan, having that quick age 3, was able to squeeze out an extra 20 villages. Well, not quite 20, it was more like 10, because he'd already had an advantage of about 9 or 10 before. A whole bunch of eco-techs kicking in for Zertan there, cancelling a couple and reshuffling them though. Doesn't have a lot of wood. I think he's only got the one armory. He's actually pre-queued broadhead. He is maxed out. He wants to try and get these armory upgrades as quick as he can, but probably could throw up another armory as well. But I don't think it's going to matter here. He's going to look at taking a big fight on Crimson's doorstep, and Crimson just doesn't really have the units to defend here. There's not really a good number of Prodromos by any means, so they can't fight against these horsemen. There's a huge number of druids in the backline here. I think there's 8 druids in total. A lot of bowmen. A handful of slingers in the mix here too. Not really, no woads at all. So the Toxotes are really the only thing that posing a huge threat, and Zertan's trying to pull the longswordsmen back to not lose too many of them, but the bowmen volleys are really trading blows well with the Toxotes. Being a later age unit, the bowmen basically are going to have the same stats, slightly more health, slightly more damage, I think, for actually less cost. So it's a bit problematic for the Greek to be running in and fighting bowmen v Toxotes. And there is an upgrade advantage there for Zertan. He's actually, yeah, he's got age 2 armory upgrade. Oh no, they got the same. The damage. There is 2 armor upgrades Zertan's got over Crimson at the moment. So he's actually got 3rd age ranged armor to really try and reduce the effect of the Saris. He's walled up really nicely as well. So Zertan's base going to be very hard for Crimson to crack right now. But he does clean up this little raid here, so it's nice for Crimson. He's actually maintaining himself quite well through age 3 now. I didn't expect him to do so well in that fight there, but I suppose Zertan didn't have any woads, so it was hard for him to really just push straight into Crimson. The fortress must have finished up in good time there too, so age 4 coming in for Zertan a lot quicker than it's going to be in for Crimson. He does have the pop advantage of age 3 over Crimson as well. I don't think he's got his... He does have a 3rd, he just needs to get 4 houses out, which he's doing now. So, oops. Short of the units now. So last few words finishing up here for certain. And he's going to get that fourth TC down. Get this wall upgrade as well. Crimson Cantab gonna try and punch a hole in Zerton's wall just before the stone wall upgrade kicks in too, so it's a bit timely for him to come in now. And he's gonna try and take out some of these barracks. So these Prodromos, they do nice flat damage, and they're a fast cavalry. They do get a bonus against buildings once they've got champion. They don't really have anything super special against buildings till then, but they are still a very mobile unit. They will be able to outrun even word raiders, as long as they've got the space, because they are getting caught behind the caravan there. So Zerton is going to be able to clean that up with the word raiders ultimately. A bit unfortunate there for Crimson, but I do feel like he sort of threw them away in a sense while he was trying to macro up back here at home. And Zerton maxed out getting Woad champ, so area damage charge, snare immunity on these Woads. They're going to be tough little buggers to deal with. Look at them, little nuggety fellas. How much do you reckon they bench? But ooh, Zerton, he's actually bringing everything back. You saw Crimson's army running through that little section there. Brings everything back. Gonna try and catch Crimson down here in this choke, I think. He's just actually sort of stacking his army up as much as he... Oh no. Was stacking it up as much as he could, but then he actually splits the Woads out. And he hit the base with them. While also bringing everything back. Crimson, on the other hand, is pushing through that gap. Gonna try and take out these production facilities. But he don't know if he's got enough at home to defend here. He's bringing some Prodromos back. But he is down by that 20 pop because he doesn't have that age 4 yet. He's getting a whole bunch of Hypaspis to defend at home. Bringing more of his cavalry back and trying to take out these production facilities. But Zerton going to be content to just sit at home safely. Bring everything out after killing a lot of the villagers. So Crimson still on 99 villagers. He's actually really boomed up his vill count. Phenomenal stuff seeing that from him. And he's trying to sack one of these gold mines and interrupt Zerton's market line. So he's getting the pressure out the map with the smaller army. Really forcing Zerton to have to continue to get these really high level pushes and raids over him. But the army just dying to Woad champ like that. That's just unbelievable stuff. Did you guys see that? We needed like a replay cam, like a live action, like just, yeah, slow-mo replay cam or something. Like when they score points in competitive sport, you know? That was wicked. Crimson, he somehow snuck some units into Zerton's base once again. He's really starting to cop it in terms of score at the moment. Zerton with a really nice even bank across the board, whereas Crimson's is quite lopsided. Still down by that age up advantage. Does have some units in Zerton's base, so that is going to prove to be a thorn in his side, but he's not going to have enough to win this trade, I don't think. There's just too many Woads. Too much of a backline as well here for Zerton. Crimson is still trying to find something to snipe, I think. Or he might even just be bringing these guys home. Yeah, he's just trying to bring them home. Trying to defend with everything he's got, but it's just not enough, and now half the army's not actually taking the fight, so Zerton is pushing into Crimson Cantab with everything in the bank. 200 out of 200 pop. Crimson is falling down to about 120, and things are looking really rough. He's only just getting tempered now, so his melee upgrades really quite behind in comparison to Crimson. Right about us coming in now, so Zerton actually trying to snipe the fortress and a couple of the buildings first. GG is called. Zerton takes the second game of this series. Well done to him. Good game. Thanks for coming, guys. And thanks for watching today, folks. I guess we'll just have to see you tomorrow, but yeah. That's the game for today, and yeah. Wow. How can someone so rusty be so good? It's ridiculous. I'll catch you guys later, eh?